Jedlic. I'm the General Manager of Residential Land for Harvard Developments. With me at the podium is Blair Forster, President of Forster Projects. We're here today as proponents for the rezoning and discretionary use application for the Westerra retail development. We're very pleased to be before you as this is the sort of final step in realizing the retail component within the Westerra community. The main focus today is the discretionary use application, which provides the framework for the site layout for the Main Street and community retail nodes. We believe the plan adheres to our vision outlined in the Westerra neighborhood plan and is fully aligned with the vision of the Design Regina official community plan. We would like to thank administration for their work on this file and are here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Questions on the delegation? Mr. Evans first.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Thanks for taking those questions. The number of buildings shown on this site plan part of your application on-site plan, are they all single-story buildings or are some higher lanes?
Through the chair,
Microphone, please.
sorry, through the chair. The buildings are predominantly single-story in height, but will provide room for mezzanines with certain tenants. The buildings that front West Market Street are a little bit of a different concept. Those could have second or even potentially third story, depending on the demand generated at the time, and could have other uses like office or even residential over them at the appropriate time. They have a zero setback from the sidewalk and are designed to be walkable and reminiscent of maybe an old Saskatchewan Main Street with angle parking at the front. So the majority of the neighborhood commercial node, which is what you have before you here today, is going to be single story in nature, but will provide the potential for residents.
I appreciate that. The reason I sort of tweaked onto that is the in the report that talks about floor area ratio and a proposal of 24 and maximum coverage of 25.5. That to me indicates that there's a bit more height in there, because otherwise it would have been 25% of the entire site. So the question that I have then in the Main Street, I think it's called the Main Street area, the ample parking, is the form of those buildings, is that similar to the Liverpool properties that you were looking at previously?
Through the chair, it's slightly different. It's going to be predominantly commercial, whereas the Liverpool product is predominantly residential. The actual users of that, and I think it probably is important to state that this is approximately 200,000 square feet of retail, which is likely going to take us 8 to 10 years to work through. So this isn't going to happen overnight. But so that the interest that we're going to generate on West Market Street, which is the Main Street element, we're going to be fairly reactive to interest as it comes by. And if we find that there is an opportunity to provide second story office space, we'll look to place that over top of the retail. Or if the residential development on the site warrants that some people are looking at maybe some smaller units over top of the retail, or maybe even hotel units at some point in time over top of the retail, we would look to amend the plan. And of course, all this comes before you again through the applications that we have for each one of the buildings. But we're hoping that area does have some verticality. In the design of the space, there is a ratio between the width of the street and the height of the buildings to make it feel comfortable and still have some connection to the other side of the street. But we don't have that portion of the development fully defined at this point.
Anyone else? Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wondered about the reason for the rezoning from MAC to DSC. I think before it was MAC and now, and so I'm just wondering what the reason is for that.
When we looked at it originally, when we were discussing with administration, we just reverted to MAC. And MAC actually has more flexibility in some ways over design shopping center, but because we wanted, and MAC was predominantly generated because it allowed for that zero setback on West Market Street. But in consultation with administration and through our experience at Grasslands, we both felt that design shopping center was a more appropriate zoning, and so we reverted to that, and then just layered on this this criteria for allowing the zero setback on West Market as part of the DSC.
So, that zero setback, this thing is going forward as one discretionary use parcel with the DSC zoning. And so it is only on the one West Market Street where you're looking for that zero setback.
Through the chair, that's correct.
Councilor. Thanks, welcome, gentlemen. When you started this project 3 years ago, 4 years ago on paper, how much has it changed because of the market and what's going on today compared to the hot times we had back 3 or 4 years ago?
Through the chair, that's a good question. It really, our project is almost identical to the one we originally sat down with the city on almost 5 years ago now. I'd like to say that that's because maybe we're a little ahead of our time.
Sure, you can say that.
When we originally sat down, but this entire project was designed around the OCP and was designed at the same time that we were going through the public consultation process and engaging with the community on the OCP. So as we were attending all of those sessions, we were designing the project as we were getting feedback from the community. And so because of that, I think we meet most of the complete community criteria as outlined, and our tagline has been live, work, shop, and play, and truly that's what we expect to deliver with the full implementation of Westerra. And this retail component, I think should be noted that the first phase of it is the neighborhood commercial. So this is your grocery store anchored portion of the shopping center, and that services the existing trade area in addition to the Westerra residents. And we've got a site office set up there at Westerra now, and I can tell you that we get regular visits from the community asking us when the commercial was going to be open. I think there's a significant pent-up demand in West Regina for this, and we're excited to keep the project moving along.
Yeah, thanks. One other thing is, if you look forward to what's going to happen in Westerra, but if you go back and look at what happened in Harbour Landing, did Harbour Landing play out like you planned it and expected it, with minimal changes or no changes?
Through the chair, our development of Harbour Landing was exclusive to the Grasslands retail node, and again, very, very few changes to the original plan that was laid out in front of City Council almost 9 years ago now. We're just finishing the final portion of that, which is the plaza area, the amenitized plaza area with our first residential over retail building being placed on the east side of that, and that will be the jewel in the crown of Grasslands and Harbour Landing, and we're very, I think it probably happened at exactly the pace that we had anticipated it would happen.
So it's fair to say that you kind of know what you're doing.
Through the chair, I'd like to say that we do.
Okay, no, thanks, and good luck with this project, because I think it's, I've heard from residents, as this is Councillor O'Donnell's turf, but I've heard from residents too that it's going to be a pretty smart area for that area and the rest of the city as well. So, thanks. Thank you. Anyone else? Just if you want to go again, yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to ask a question. There's three parcels against that have been excluded from this discretionary use. Are they, I guess, two questions. Why is that, and are they expected to come forward for discretionary use, or, DSC zone?
Through you, your chair. Those parcels are individual parcels, and they're already zoned MAC, and that zoning is appropriate for the uses that will be on them. And so those parcels will be sold off, and the And so today, we were just looking for the parcel that Harbor Developments and Forster projects will develop, to rezone that as the, from MAC to PSC.
So just, so you don't expect that those owners, would come back for, a different rezonation?
No, it's not. The zoning is appropriate for those uses.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. O'Connor, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You have some fairly wide spaces between the buildings, probably wider than you need for circulation. Is there a purpose for those spaces between the buildings?
Through the chair, if I can just clarify, which, are you speaking about West Market Street or are you speaking?
Yes, West Market Street, those buildings, between the buildings, there's quite a wide space between.
Yeah, and through the chair, the ratio that we're trying to get is to adhere to the parking ratio required by the city of Regina. So it's a combination of the angled on-street parking and then the parking at the rear. So we obviously want to have a meaningful number of penetration points so that people can access the parking fields at the rear, but we're simply limited on the amount of square footage we can place on those to the parking provided. And so that is the maximum density we could put on. And that would even get impacted somewhat if we went vertical with uses and did not provide underground parking. So that's another balancing act we're going to have to investigate as we move through this piece. But I think we've done the best job we could with that ratio in mind to create a streetscape that had meaningful repetition of storefronts and still meeting the bylaw.
And if I may add to that, it also provides the opportunity for outdoor seating areas, and depending on the type of fences.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering, that it would be ideal for that, but they're not really showing. If that's what the intent is, it's a good idea.
Anyone else? I'll just ask a couple of questions if you don't mind. So one, I appreciate your comments about the neighbors and their support. Can you maybe suggest where you think your draw area is from in terms of the commercial? Considering that there's not a whole lot on the west side of town. Do you see a plan north, south, or east, or both?
Yeah, when we did our study of the trade area, and you do a 5-kilometer radius around this site, the only meaningful shopping node in that is Normandy Shopping Center, which just clips the edge of 5 kilometers. So we feel that there will be a line somewhere between this project and Normandy that will be a demarcation point where you either go north or south depending on your preference of retailer in there. But we'll pick up the vast majority of Normandy West, and we'll swing down and probably extend all the way to Luban, which is about a 5-minute drive time. Our expectation is there's 30,000 additional residents that are underserved right now on the west side of Regina, in addition to the 9,000 people at the full build out of Westerra and the East Coast lands to the north of us. So we think that that's a significant existing population. It will change some drive patterns, some existing shopping patterns, but we think that will be against the existing flow of traffic and will actually help transportation networking.
Perfect. Thanks for that. That's what I was looking for. I see no other questions. You may return to the gallery. We'll consider it. Thank you very much. So before